5 things you need to heal after a dramatic loss or life change. When life gives you a hard time, the most important thing you can do to heal is to unconditionally love yourself. In a moment, I'll tell you 5 things you can do that will help. But first, you probably want to know who I am. I'm Mahesh Grossman, a certified clinical hypnotherapist and the owner of Berkeley Hypnosis and Pain Management. I'm also the author of the 1 Minute Anxiety Solution and the creator of the Defy Trauma course. Here are my 5 items. Number 1, discard self-blame. When bad things happen, we tend to blame ourselves, even if it doesn't make sense. That's because we all have an inner child that's a part of us who believes everything is our fault. So it's important to break free of our tendency to self-blame. I had a client who spent 2 years falsely blaming himself for his daughter's death from breast cancer. I had him imagine a key. I told him to create an imaginary storage unit and put all the self-blame he carried with him into it. Then he used that key to lock the door and leave his self-blame behind. It worked. Once he stopped carrying around all that undeserved guilt, he was able to start writing his second novel, which he'd been putting off. Number 2, let go of old internalized negative messages from others. A lot of us have had critical parents, siblings, exes, and other judgmental people in our life. When we are self-critical, what we say about ourselves usually doesn't originate with us. It comes from a voice in our head we took in from one of the judgmental people from our past. Here's how to heal this. Isolate a negative sentence you've been saying about yourself due to what happened. Say it in your head again. Then ask yourself, whose voice is this really? Is it your mom's, your dad's, someone else's? Once you figure out who it is, imagine that person as a 5-year-old. Let them say the same sentence in their high-pitched kindergarten voice. Notice how it feels to hear the negative message from a young kid. It's likely it won't bother you, and you can let go of this particular judgment about yourself. Number 3, release both your sadness and your anger. You have to release both of these. Most people are more comfortable with one than the other. A client of mine had a partner of 10 years who left her for another woman. A part of her still wanted him back. Though she was completely comfortable dealing with her sadness, she was afraid to allow herself to feel angry at him. Once she was able to get in touch with her anger and release it, she was finally able to move on with her life. Number 4, heal related childhood wounds. Our emotional response to difficult losses and life changes are compounded by leftover emotions from childhood experiences we haven't fully healed. The way to find this material is to think about something that makes you sad or angry about your loss. As you think about that item, you'll notice a tension or pain in your body. Notice where you feel it and how it feels. Then ask yourself how old you were the first time you had this sensation. You may get a sense of an age or a location or someone you were with that will give you a clue as to what happened that you're still upset about. The event you tap into is adding to the pain you feel over the present situation you are in. I had a client whose lingering pain from a back surgery subsided once she healed her leftover guilt from when her dog drowned because of an innocent mistake she and her brother made when she was 6. Number 5, avoid playing it safe. When difficult things happen to us, we often become risk averse as a way to protect ourselves from the loss or hurt repeating itself. We think to ourselves, I never want that to happen again. Then we stop living with the joy and freedom we used to have. This may keep us safe, but it protects us from happiness. One way to free yourself from this natural tendency is to do what native cultures refer to as a soul retrieval. A soul retrieval is a shamanic practice used by these cultures whenever loss or difficult life changes occur. The idea is to free up the self love, sense of safety, confidence, and creativity that we repress when bad things happen to us. My version is fast and easy. You simply imagine unwrapping a present and finding a gift inside. Don't think about what the gift is ahead of time. Let it be an aha moment, something you discover that comes from your subconscious and not from your conscious mind. Even if it's just a random thought, trust whatever shows up. Ask the gift what it symbolizes, then imagine putting it inside you. This will unrepress whatever energy it represents. There is a tangible feeling when you do this, typically a warmth or a tingling. It brings a kind of peace or sense of safety with it. This unrepressing creates lasting change. One client used to grit his teeth and count to 10 in order to allow his wife to hug him. After his soul retrieval, he was able to comfortably hold and be held by her for the first time in 30 years of marriage. And he's felt fine with being hugged ever since. I teach this method as part of my 5 step trauma detox process in my Defy Trauma course, which is available at defytrauma.com. I hope this helps. Thanks for listening.